Good evening and welcome to Breaking Views on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. Ladies and gentlemen, a big story today coming in. It just broke short while back from Tamil Nadu. Huge showdown now is expected. Another round of confrontation between the Chief Minister MK Stalin and Governor Mr. Ravi in Tamil Nadu. Now already the relations between both, in fact, the governor and the chief minister are strained as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. Continuous, in fact, rounds one after another as far as the governor and the chief minister of Tamil Nadu is concerned. Now, there is big news that came in today, and this is definitely going to, in fact, embroil the state into another set of showdown between the state government of Tamil Nadu and the governor of Tamil Nadu. Let's very quickly tell you what happened in just about 1 hour back, which in fact is now the talk of the town. It is absolutely unprecedented move that at least we so far have not been able to find any precedent or any other instance in the recent history. Tamil Nadu Governor RN Ravi has dismissed Minister V Senthil Balaji from the Council of Ministers unilaterally, without any aid or advice of the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. MK Stalin. Remember, the Chief Minister largely is seen as the man who has sole prerogative over who is in his cabinet and who is not in his cabinet. No recommendation was sent as far as the minister is concerned from the Chief Minister's office. The governor today has unilaterally dismissed him from the Council of the Ministers. This is going to further escalate the ongoing tiff and the standoff between the state government, DMK's government in the state of Tamil Nadu, and the governor's office. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, comes 2 weeks after Minister Senthil Balaji was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate over money laundering allegations, though the Chief Minister, Mr. Stalin, despite so many noises of the opposition attack on him, has so far retained him in the cabinet even after his arrest. We remember those shots when the Chief Minister has gone to meet Mr. Balaji in the hospital, showing his vote of confidence as far as the minister is concerned. Now all this changes today, and how will it impact? We'll talk about the legal position and the political impact of this. But let's very quickly first tell you about the governor's letter. The letter which now is in fact being spoken about. The legal fraternity experts are going through word by word on what the governor has said. Let's very quickly tell you what this letter in fact has said. The letter of the governor says that he is dismissing the minister because the minister is facing serious criminal proceedings, corruption cases, including that of money laundering and cash for jobs against the minister. He said that abusing position as minister, Balaji is influencing the investigation. Remember, though the Enforcement Directorate is a central agency which is at this moment heading this investigation against the minister. Continuation of Balaji as minister will obstruct due process, may eventually break down constitutional machinery in the state. Balaji's dismissal from the Council of Ministers with immediate effect. That's what the governor in fact has said in the letter announcing the dismissal of the minister. As I've been saying, and I'm using the word again and again, it is unprecedented. At least we have not been able to track any such incident in the recent history. There was something that came closer to this when a tweet was in fact made by the governor of Kerala against a minister, but there was no action as far as that tweet is concerned. Now we are getting breaking news. In fact, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. MK Stalin, has reacted to this. He has said that the governor doesn't have the power to remove the minister. We will challenge Balaji's dismissal from the cabinet legally. A very short and crisp response coming in from, in fact, Mr. MK Stalin, who has said that they are going to now legally take it up and challenge this. Let's very quickly, first of all, go across to my colleagues Arvind Gunasekar and Uma, who is joining, Uma Sudhir, who is joining us at this moment for more details on this. Arvind, I want to come to you first. just bring our viewers up to speed, because we believe there is already a case, at least in the Madras High Court, which is going on, certain petitions for the removal of the cabinet minister, Mr. Balaji. Now the governor has done this unilaterally. Have you ever been able to trace any precedent as far as this is concerned?
Ankit, like you said, this is completely unprecedented and also unheard of. Like you mentioned earlier, there was an utterance or a kind of a statement from the Kerala governor who said that he can independently remove a minister from Council of Ministers. That was just a mere statement. But this time, the Tamil Nadu governor has put words to action. That's why he has put out this statement wherein he has said that he has decided to dismiss Senthil Balaji from the Council of Ministers, wherein he cites that he is currently in judicial custody and there are also criminal cases pending against him, and that's why he said that he is dismissing from the Council of Ministers. Again, let's make it clear to our viewers, this is not the first time governor has moved to remove him from the ministership. Even on May 1st, according to our sources, governor wrote a letter to the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister after the Supreme Court order that allowed the Enforcement Directorate to continue with its investigation, wherein governor had written to the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister saying that he should be removed from the Council of Ministers. But then the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister had shot back a letter to the governor saying that this has nothing to do with the conduct or with the powers of the Raj Bhavan. He said that the appointment of a minister or continuation of a person as a minister in the Council of Ministers is the sole prerogative of the Chief Minister, and the Article 164 clearly says so, and that's why he has said that the governor cannot interfere in someone who is continuing as a minister or not, and that was a response that was given by the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister. But today the governor has put out the statement that he has removed Senthil Balaji from the Council of Ministers, and our sources in the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister office have confirmed to us that the governor has acted unilaterally without the recommendation of the Chief Minister. So the DMK has decided, the Tamil Nadu government has decided to challenge this decision of the governor in Supreme Court, and the petition is currently being drafted to move Supreme Court challenging the unilateral move of the governor. Also, very importantly, we did speak to other sources. What we are also learning is that governor did come to Delhi last week, and he did meet some of the legal experts before taking such a call, wherein according to our sources, governor has interpreted Article 164, the subclause of Article 164, that says that the minister who is appointed on the recommendation of the Chief Minister will hold office with the pleasure of the governor, and that's where, because it says with the pleasure of the governor, and that's where governor has said that because he has some kind of a discretion, because the article says with the pleasure of the governor, and that's why governor has exercised his power to remove from the Council of Ministers. But what our sources are saying is that very soon Tamil Nadu government will be moving Supreme Court, and as we speak, DMK leaders are currently meeting Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and a decision will be taken to fight this, to challenge this politically and also legally in Supreme Court.
Absolutely. So Arvind giving us very important information of what is happening at this moment in Tamil Nadu, where the government is moving not only to counter this politically but also legally. Mr. PDT Acharya, a foremost constitutional expert on these matters, is also joining us at this moment. But before I go to Mr. Acharya, Uma, I very quickly want to come to you. This is another chapter in the ongoing tiff as far as the governor and Mr. Stalin is concerned. This is only going to make things very, very difficult, and may I say ugly, as far as both these constitutional posts are concerned.
Ankit, very much part of a trend where we are seeing governors push and the state governments and the ruling parties at the states actually push back. And in this case, all of us have read in our civics textbooks or political science textbooks saying that it is the privilege of the chief minister to appoint his council of ministers. But the governor, as Arvind was pointing out, is trying to look at those nuances in the language of the constitution, which mentions that a minister must hold the position or as minister only as long as he has the pleasure of the governor, as Arvind pointed out. But yes, already his position in many senses is being challenged as untenable with petitions that are in fact pending in the High Court. We have seen from the Madurai High Court, in fact, a petition that was transferred to the Madras High Court. Madurai bench of the Madras High Court had transferred the petition to the Madras bench itself, to the Madras High Court itself, on saying that he cannot continue as minister for the simple reason that all these cases are pending against him. And now, of course, the governor has put out those reasons very strongly in that very strongly worded letter, saying that he is using his influence as a minister in order to influence this case, and therefore that is the reason he is being dismissed as minister. Like Mr. Stalin said, this is something that he would certainly be challenging in the Supreme Court. Back to you, Ankit.
Right, Uma, in fact, mentioning that very, very important case. Let me also mention, in fact, I was going through that. The High Court in the same case had also asked and said that the governor had appointed the minister on the advice of the chief minister as required under Article 164(1) of the Constitution. While the governor was free to make recommendation, does any specific legal provision exist under Article 164 that enable the governor to dismiss the minister? That's a question that the court had also posed. Before I go to Mr. Acharya, just very quickly for the benefit of our viewers, we are talking about, the Article 164 of the Constitution. What does it say? Very quickly, just want to give you a sense of that. The Article 164 of the Constitution says the chief minister shall be appointed by the governor and the other ministers shall be appointed by the governor on the advice of the chief ministers, and the minister shall hold office during the pleasure of the governor. Mr. Acharya, is this where that loophole exists, which the Tamil Nadu governor now is saying that he doesn't think that the minister in the council of Mr. MK Stalin enjoys his support or his pleasure, and that's the reason he has decided to dismiss him? I'll ask you very simply, sir, does the governor have the power under Constitution to unilaterally dismiss any minister?
No, the governor does not have any authority independently to act in these matters. Because as you have rightly quoted Article 164, it is very clear that a minister is appointed on the advice of the chief minister, and therefore, logically it follows that a minister can be removed only on the advice of the chief minister. Now, under our constitutional scheme, the governor does not act independently. He doesn't have the power to act independently, except in matters which have been mentioned in the Constitution where he can exercise his discretion. But this is not one where he can exercise his discretion. Although the article says that these ministers shall continue or hold office during the pleasure of the governor, but that pleasure cannot be exercised independently without the advice of the chief minister. That is what has been made clear in a number of decisions by the Supreme Court. Therefore, if the governor goes literally by this wording of this article, then certainly he will be actually venturing into a very dangerous area. Because if the governor can dismiss a minister at will, then no government can survive that way. So that is why, certainly, Constitution does not permit that kind of an independent action on the part of the governor, which has been made very clear by the Supreme Court in a number of decisions in the past. Therefore, the governor's action in dismissing the minister is not permitted by the Constitution.
Mr. Acharya, would you hold this at this moment when it is challenged in the court? Do you think the governor, in your appreciation, has he acted against the constitutional mandate?
Yes, certainly. The governor has not acted in accordance with the Article 164. That is, he has not acted in accordance with that article, and therefore the court has every right to look into it.
Do you remember any other precedents, sir? Like we were mentioning, and we were talking about the Kerala governor mentioning this in a tweet, but he did not act on it. Any other precedents, at least in your memory, in which the governor has acted in this fashion?
No, there is no precedent. No governor has acted in this manner because governor cannot act in this manner. Governor can, of course, dismiss perhaps a council of ministers when it loses majority in the house. That maybe the governor may be able to do that. And after losing the majority in the house, if the government doesn't quit, in that case, maybe the governor can dismiss only in that situation. But so far as dismissing an individual minister is concerned, when the council of ministers has absolute majority in the house, that is, I think it is against the Constitution.
Mr. Acharya, thank you so much, sir, for putting out the facts, at least as far as the Constitution is concerned, so precisely as for our viewers. Arvind, Uma, thank you for joining us as well. I want to shift away from this story, and trust me, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the last that you have heard on this. This is going to be the talk, in fact, not just only in Tamil Nadu, but in other states as well, because this is a continuous, we have seen in opposition ruled states, the tiff, the tussle, the tension between the governor's office and the office of the chief minister. This will find resonance in lot other states as well. But let's just move on and talk about another, in fact, interesting political story. Just 5 months to go for the elections in the state of Chhattisgarh, which will in fact take place at the end of this year in December. Congress has made a move, a very important move. They have promoted Mr. T.S. Singhdeo to the rank of a Deputy Chief Minister, a clear number 2 with Mr. Bhupesh Baghel. Remember, along with Rajasthan and what we saw in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh was also a state where there were talks of factionalism in the Congress party. Can this move guarantee unity in the Congress party in the state of Chhattisgarh? Earlier, I spoke to the newly minted Deputy Chief Minister. Listen in. So first of all, congratulations on that. Now, how does this change your work in the state of Chhattisgarh?
I still remain a member of the cabinet. Bhupesh Bhai had nominated me as a co-colleague in the cabinet. The only difference is that with the captain that we had and the other team members, now we have a vice captain too. So the team has its players, it has a captain, and it has a vice captain. I think that is about all. Otherwise, the Deputy Chief Minister has neither any constitutional post or no constitutional delegated responsibility as such per se. So it's a team which has been placed in a new sort of a way, slightly repackaged with a captain and a vice captain.
Mr. Dev, would you reckon that this could have been done earlier? Is this what you were fighting for the last 4.5 years? Because it's just 5 months to the elections in Chhattisgarh. Should this be seen as some sort of a patch of formula between you and Mr. Baghel?
I was never, what we would say, I've been trying to be nominated as a Deputy Chief Minister. There were talks in the media very consistently about a time-sharing formula, and that created a lot of pressure for me too. People associated would be asking again and again and again. 2.5 years are approaching, 2.5 years are over, now more time has gone by, the media is still repeating the same issue. There would be some fire where there is smoke. So what is the thing? What is happening? There is tremendous pressure on me to deal with the situation. I was apprising the High Command consistently that for me it is very awkward because this thing is in the media and we need a sort of a closure. So the High Command has brought about a closure on the time sharing basis. Bhupesh Baghel will continue as the Chief Minister, and I have been asked to take on the role as a team member with being a Deputy Chief Minister.
So, like you said, that this is also an attempt to present a very united front in a crucial election that your party would be facing at the end of this year in just about 5 months from now. Are you satisfied? Does this also mean that the Congress in Chhattisgarh is going to work as one to try and come back to power?
I am always satisfied with the decision of the High Command in the sense that when you are a member of the party, then you accept its discipline. So we, or me, I will not say we, I surrender myself to the discipline of the High Command, and when they take a call, I abide with that. Then there is no A and B and C and D. If the High Command says A, then it is for A for me. If they say B, then it is B for me. If it's a C or a D, then it's a C or a D for me.
Mr. Singhdeo, your opposition in the state of Chhattisgarh, the Bharatiya Janata Party, as soon as this announcement was made, Mr. Raman Singh came out, the former Chief Minister, and said, "Jhunjhuna pakda diya gaya hai T.S. Singhdeo saab ko."
They must make some comments. That's okay. It happens all the time. It's a bit of a leg pulling, tongues here, pulls there. So that's okay. One takes it in the spirit of things.
On the very day, sir, when you are in fact being designated as the Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, there has been a very important development in the cabinet itself, a cabinet minister rank for Mr. Nand Kumar Sai. who many believe is an arch rival as far as Mr. T.S. Singh Dev is concerned. Is this in some way an attempt to check you in your own, stronghold?
No, not at all. We don't share a common working platform. He is a tribal leader from Jashpur. He's been in the Bharatiya Janata Party for a very long time. He's a very sober, intellectual sort of a person, well versed in the Ramayana and religious texts, etc. So, neither when he was in the Bharatiya Janata Party or otherwise has there ever been a confrontation. He belongs to the cover community of the tribal sect, and he has been very active in the cover community.
We are just...
So I suppose that's
right, a little patchy that network, sir. We are, in between freezing up. Your frame is freezing up. But I just want to also very quickly ask you, for 2023, who is going to be the face of the Congress party in Chhattisgarh? And is there going to be a chief minister who will be declared before the elections, or the Congress party once again will go to the drawing board after the election results?
High command to take. So what is very clear is that in this collective leadership platform, Bhupesh Baghel is the captain. There are no two things about that. There is no doubt about that. So he will be that face. The person leading the campaign will be Bhupesh Baghel, and whether he is chief minister designate, that the high command will take.
Will you be a contender also post the election results for the top job?
All with the high command. It's all with the high command, and as far as I am concerned, I am completely comfortable with whatever decision they take.
So you've been quite patient despite your reservations or despite all the murmurs in the media for the last 4.5 years. Something which has not been a similar situation in the state of Rajasthan. Would you have any word of advice to Mr. Sachin Pilot, who was the Deputy Chief Minister in Rajasthan? At this moment, a lot of talks about his future in your party. He has congratulated you on Twitter as well.
I'm in touch with Sachin off and on, and he's a dashing young emerging leader. He has emerged, in fact. He was the PCC president and instrumental in getting the Congress party to power in Rajasthan, one of the leading players, one of the top leading players in Rajasthan for the Congress. What I have always said is that he has time on his side. See, with me it could have been different. I am 70 plus, so if there are some matters of aspiration, then I have a limited time frame in which to satisfy those aspirations. My sense of discipline helps me considerably and keeping my balance, and I appear completely to be on board. What I have in mind is another thing. I don't find it very difficult to control myself. With Sachin as a youngster, comparative youngster, he has very much more time. So I would always suggest that he be patient. We go along with the directions of the party. And I am sure with his capacity, with his eloquence, with his mass base that he has, he will get a chance to lead the state in the near future. Near future, I am not saying next year. Near future, 5 years down the line.
That was Mr. T.S. Singh Dev. Very important words of wisdom for Mr. Sachin Pilot. Patience, loyalty and trust your party high command. Can he do that? That's a big question, because Rajasthan would be next for the Congress to try and solve the issues before the elections. That's all the time that we have in this edition of Breaking News. Thank you so much. Good night.